Hey coin collectors, and welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. Today we have a bunch of coins here. Oh, there's a 1 penny from 62, a 6 pence from 56, a 3 pence from 56, and this is the one we're going to focus on, this half crown from 1956. But all these other coins are here for a reason, so let's take a look at them. When I did my 6 pence video, when we did that, the DC Coin did the 6 pence video from 1920, I got a little note from one of our viewers, and she said, Pamela Brooks said, that the 6 pence is also known as a tanner. And so I was going like, what's a tanner? And it turns out that there's all these different stories about what a tanner is and why it was called a tanner and all this and that. But apparently the factual story about the whole thing is that there was actually a man called Tanner who was the engraver of the coin. So the 6 pence was called a tanner because John Sigismund Tanner engraved a 6 pence. And John Sigismund Tanner was from Germany, actually. And he engraved a 6 pence for the Royal Mint sometime in the 1740s. And it was first designed for George II. So George II was king in the 1740s. I think he became king in 1738. So George II said we need a new 6 pence coin, and Tanner was the engraver. So that's why the 6 pence was called an engraver. And you can see this is not from Tanner. You have Edgar Fuller and Cecil Thomas's CT and EF here, and so it essentially the 6 pence that Tanner designed only lasted until I think about 1775 or so, and then the next king did not use it. So thank you very much, Pamela Brooke, for telling us about the tanner. And of course we don't have to use the term tanner anymore because people don't use the 6 pence coin because they were demonetized. But let's get back to the one we were talking about today. And this is the half crown coin. And let's compare it to the 6 pence. The 6 pence is this tiny little thing. It's about the size of an American dime. I'll show you an American dime here. And here is the 6 pence. It's a little bit bigger than an American dime. This is, of course, the Roosevelt dime from '85, the Philadelphia one. So this is the 6 pence. Now, this 6 pence here was worth, or also known as a 6 penny bit, was worth 1/40th of a pound, and I think 1/5 of a crown. So I think there were 5 of these in a crown. 10 of these in a crown, 5 of these in a half crown. So there we are. Or maybe there were 6 of them in a half crown. It says Fid Def at the top. It says half crown here. It says 1956. We have the crosses here. And if we look right in there, we can see the shield has these symbols of England, which is the lions supine, or kind of reclining lions. The symbol of Scotland, which is the lion rampon, or standing up and roaring. The symbol of Northern Ireland, here the harp. Now, these coins did not have a symbol for Wales, and essentially Wales was seen to be under the symbolism of England. And England was to encompass everything except for, in this shield, everything except for Scotland and Northern Ireland. So we see it says Fid Def. We see an E here and an R here, and that's, of course, for Queen Elizabeth, or Elizabeth Regina, or Elizabeth the Queen. We see that it has these beaded outer rim, which kind of touches on the outer rim. And we also see something we just saw on a 6 pence coin, and that is Edgar Fuller and Cecil Thomas were the engravers of this coin also. Well, what's the side look like? It's milled. And what's the front? It's that, there we go again. You'll hear it every time I see this, I say it. My favorite Queen Elizabeth portrait, the Queen Elizabeth Laureate portrait that Mary Gillick designed and engraved in 1953. It says Regina Elizabeth, or essentially R-E. You know how the back said E-R, Elizabeth Regina? This says Regina Elizabeth, but here's how we read it. We go Elizabeth II, Dea Gratia Regina. Okay, Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen. And you can see her ribbons flying out the back, and this is the laureate part of the hair. It's essentially a kind of based on these Roman things. It has these leaves that kind of are there. It's not a crown portrait, it's a laureate portrait. How many of them did they make? I think they made about 34 million of these. This is a pretty heavy coin. In 1956, yeah, 34 million plus some proofs. It's the same weight when you get the half crown as the silver half crowns, but they didn't make the silver half crowns for Elizabeth II except in commemorative. These are actually copper nickel coins. They weigh 14.14 grams, 32.3 millimeters in diameter, and 2.2 millimeters in thickness. And these were taken out of circulation on December 31st, 1969. So here's the sixpence we talked about. Here was a threepence, or some people tell me they call this the threp. So this one was called the tanner. Some people call this the threp. Another thing they called these sixpence was the sixpenny bit. So you have the sixpenny bit, the threp. You have the half crown, which I don't know was ever called anything else. And I wanted to show you this penny because I wanted to show you that the half crown is slightly larger than the penny. You see, we can see the half crown all the way around the edge here. If we stand it up, we see that it's just slightly smaller going around the edge. So that's how big it is. This is as big as one of the old United Kingdom pennies. And of course, this is the Mary Gillick one from 62. All right, so that's all we have. The half crown, 1956. We'd love to have you subscribe to our channel and leave any comments you have in the comments section.